Hello everyone! In this lesson, we will make a few quick edits to our single program template. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Let's begin by visiting an individual program post. We haven't set up the programs link in the header navigation yet, so to get to a program post, I'm just going to click on an event that I know has a related program, so the science of cats. Okay, related programs, and then I can click on biology. So our goal for this lesson is to improve the styling and formatting that we see here. Right, there should probably be a bit of vertical spacing in between this content, and there should also be a headline that reads upcoming biology events. So if we want to customize this, we need to jump into our text editor, and within our theme folder, let's open up the singleprogram.php file. And if we scroll down a bit, here we see our custom query that we wrote. And here we see the while loop that is responsible for outputting each related event. So right before this while loop and right below the custom query, let's just output a headline. So let's say echo, maybe a heading level 2, and let's say upcoming blank events, except we obviously want the word blank to be dynamic. So depending on the current URL, this would be biology or math or English. So let's delete the word blank and instead use the getTheTitle function, except we can't just run a function in the middle of a string of text that we're trying to echo. But what we can do is close out the quote right after the word upcoming, and then use a period to concatenate or add on whatever we choose. And then right after that, we can also concatenate on and then open up a beginning quote, and then we've still got our closing quote. And we do want to be sure to include a space right after the word upcoming and then another space right before the word events, right? Because this function isn't going to add its own spacing around the word on its own. So let's save that. Cool, upcoming biology events. Why don't we go ahead and give this H2 a few classes just so the CSS design looks a bit better. So class equals headline and headline -- medium. Okay, next let's add a bit of vertical spacing in between this main content and the headline. So right above the heading level 2 line, we can also just echo out an HTML horizontal rule and give that a class of section break. Perfect. So this looks good for programs that do indeed have upcoming events associated with them, but what if we click all programs and pull up a program that doesn't have any associated events? So if I click on the English program, now we have this horizontal rule and a headline, even though we don't have any actual relevant content here. So all we need to do to fix that is wrap all of this, our 2 echo lines and the while loop. We just want to wrap all of that in an if statement. So before we write the if statement, why don't we first cut all of this into our clipboard? So from the beginning of the first echo line down to the end of this while loop. So right at the end of this curly bracket down here, let's cut that into our clipboard. Okay, and now right after this custom query code, let's just write an if statement. Let's say if, parentheses, curly bracket. Within the parentheses for our condition check, we want to begin by looking inside the variable name of this custom query. So in this case, the name is homepage events. So we'll say if homepage events, and then look inside that object, so dash greater than, if it has posts, or I should say have posts, this will evaluate to true. But if this custom query that looks for related events is empty, well, then this will evaluate to false and our code will not run. So then within the body of our if statement, within the curly brackets, we can just go ahead and paste in our clipboard. Cool, so let's go ahead and save that. So I'm on this program page with no related events, and we no longer see that code. But if we go back to the biology program, we are still in business. All right, let's change gears now. The only other thing I want to take care of in this quick lesson is the Programs link up in the main header navigation. At the moment, if you click on that, it doesn't do anything. So to fix that, let's jump into our theme folder and open up the header.php file. Here's the header navigation, and here's the list item and link for programs. Let's begin by filling out the href value. So delete the hashtag placeholder and drop into PHP. And let's echo out the results of a function, get post type archive link. And the argument is simply the name of the post type, so program. Okay, let's test that out. So if I go back to the home page and then click programs in the header, perfect. Now let's set things up so that the link stays lit up as a subtle yellow color when we are on this screen or an individual program post. So in our code, on this opening list item tag, let's just drop into PHP. And let's use an if statement. So if, and for the condition check, we can just see what the current post type is. So if the results of get post type, and that's a function, so give it its own parentheses, if that equals program, well, then we want to add the class that will make the link yellow. And again, when you're writing an if statement all on one line, you do not need curly brackets after the parentheses. So now we can just echo out a bit of HTML, so single quotes, and then we'll say class equals, double quotes, current menu item. Let's give that a save. Okay, we're on the All Programs page, and we can see up in the header, Programs is lit up. And if I click onto Biology, it stays lit up. Okay, and one final tiny edit before we bring this lesson to a close. If we go back to the home page, this large hero blue button that reads Find Your Major, let's go ahead and link that to the All Programs page. So in our theme folder, let's jump into front-page.php. Up at the top, we see a div with a class of page banner, and towards the end of it, we see that link or that button, Find Your Major. So let's just target the href, get rid of the placeholder, go into PHP, echo out the results of get post type archive link, and the argument is the post type of program. Let's give that a save, test out this button. Perfect. That's going to bring this lesson to a close. In our next lesson, we will create a brand new post type for professors. And what's going to make it interesting and fun is that we will learn how to associate an image with each post. We will learn about the WordPress native featured image or thumbnail image. And even beyond that, we will learn how to create our own extra image fields using advanced custom fields. We will even learn how to tell WordPress to automatically generate multiple sizes and aspect ratios of each photo that gets uploaded. Learning how to be in control of images like this is a huge step in your WordPress journey. It should be a lot of fun. Let's keep things rolling, and I will see you in the next lesson.